time no see, Brap Gang. Sorry for the absence, but summer's been kind of a weird start. I know not too many of you guys are all that into the Seadoo content anyway, but I figured we'd get a little vlog out there, a little update. It's kind of a mid-summer update. We're about halfway through July. There really wasn't any June riding, so there wasn't much to record for that. We've had some issues with the second jet ski, the second Seadoo, the RXT. This season it got over, or last season it got over 100 hours, so this summer it was due to have its supercharger rebuilt, so I took it off and everything, and then we got it rebuilt and put it back in, took it out. It turned out that I didn't quite have the water box completely tight, so that popped off at one point. Not a big deal, it just made it stall out, so we had to bring it back, and I got that put back on, all situated, and then unfortunately second ride after that, the ski just kind of seized up. My friend was out riding it, so I didn't totally know like the circumstances. I just took his word. He said it just turned off, so it wouldn't crank over, which would kind of make you think it's, you know, seized up. But we took it in. We suggested that possibly the bearings could have been bad in the rebuild kit. The dealer didn't think that was what it was. He said he was just gonna kind of diagnose it and see where things landed. And when he did, he said it's either the pump or the engine. They were gonna dig deeper into it, and they gave us a call back on Monday and told us it actually was the bearings in the supercharger. He said he's never seen it before. It seems like it's kind of a common thing online. They're a really big dealer, so I'm just surprised he's never seen a bad rebuild kit. But so they are fixing it again under warranty, but unfortunately when the bearings went, it took the entire supercharger out, so it needs an entire new supercharger. So I've only had one ski to film on, which is unfortunate, but you know, just kind of making the best I can of it. It's hard to bring my helmet out, which is the only way I can really film and get the mic out for you guys, so that's kind of been the big hold up with everything. I did paint the trim on the Seadoo, so you'll be able to just kind of see a little video of that. As time goes on, even though the Seadoo's been mostly covered its whole life, it has gotten a little sun exposure here and there, and because of that, the trim has faded a bit. So today what I'm gonna do is paint this section over again. It got pretty faded over the years, even though I cover the Seadoo. As you can see down here, I plasti dipped a lot of it at one point, but you know, plasti dip's pretty temporary, and it's coming off. So a couple years back I did repaint some parts on the front. I repainted this up here, and I repainted the nose piece. It does have this little mark on it. I'm not sure where that came from, but it's held up really well. It's a lot better looking in comparison to that stuff. I'll put them side by side to show you guys.
1, 2, 3, jump!
But I said this in my other video as well. As long as I've owned the ski, it's never really been outside and exposed to sun longer than it's been being used. But I bought it as a leftover in 2015, and when I did, this had been outside on the showroom floor, and as you can see, the color difference just from the year that it sat there as a brand new machine. Hindsight, I probably shouldn't have taken it, but I got a decent discount on it. I still think if I had it to do over again, I would get a brand new 2015, but you live and you learn. All right, so wash with soap and water, then rinse off again with alcohol, set it out to dry. This is the paint I'm using. It works pretty good. As you can see on the front of the Seadoo, that's about 2 years old, and I think it looks good, so here we go. Pretty happy with the overall finished product. Everything came out pretty good. It's got that like glossy look to it, so hopefully I can get it back in the sun when I put it in my backyard and it'll keep curing, and then I'll wrap it up for the night and mission accomplished. As some of you may or may not know, I did wrap this last year and I've had a little bit of either air or water bubbles popping up on this left side. It hasn't happened on the right side, so I'm not really sure what the difference is, but I'll have to see if I can get that out at some point. Definitely disappointing, but overall still looks really good, holding up pretty good, just those couple bubbles. Other than that, nothing new on the snowmobile front, just kind of cruising through summer, out on the water when we can, all that, so it's been fun. Haven't really been able to put together any reviews. So unfortunately I haven't been able to bring you guys any of those. I had the tricks last year in the RXT. If anyone's local and doesn't mind me trying their Seadoo out, I would love it. You're more than welcome to try out my RXPX. Preferably a model that is currently being built, just so that it has some relevance to the channel, but even so, if you got something cool, I would love to try it out. I appreciate all the views I have got on the Seadoo and PWC videos. There's definitely like a pretty solid following for them. I just don't really live in an area where I can bring him as often as people like down south and stuff like that. So my ski's been running pretty good. Typical oil change. Finally had to do a battery. I got 4 years out of my battery, and that's kind of one of the interesting things I always say to people. Like, a lot of people insist, oh, you got to put it on a tender, or you got to take it out in the winter, do this, do that. I would literally not even unhook my battery from my Seadoo. I would just leave it in the winter, and I got 4 years out of it. Works for me. Before that, we would take them out, we would unhook them and leave them in, we would put them on tenders, and it would still be 2-3 years max. The two-stroke jet skis, it was like 1 year max. So I just kind of stick with what works, and that seems to work the best. After 4 years, I kind of, actually this is my 5th summer with it. I felt like I was kind of due to need a new battery anyway, so it was no big deal. Not a very smart seagull. This is where I did my first ever Seadoo video. It's my family's neighborhood back there. So yeah, like I said, hopefully I'll be able to think up some cool topics or something. The only thing I've been contemplating is maybe doing a water box on the Seadoo. It's really expensive. It's $500. It would make the ski louder. With the money, it's kind of into tune territory, but it's not really. The only more affordable sort of tune type thing I could do is get a SCOM for it, but I don't think, from what I've read, on a 260 a SCOM will do too much, so I'm kind of hesitant to bother doing that, especially because it's 200 bucks. If I was to do a water box on a SCOM, that's as much as just a straight up tune, so we'll see. I also just like having good drivability, and I don't want to have to worry too much about issues with the tune, so I'm back and forth on the idea of it, but it could definitely bring some cool content to the channel. If it's something you guys would be into, definitely let me know, and we can contemplate it and just kind of see how things go. Yeah, that one's not an SE, so that one is a little less money.
I like the black though.
Yeah, I like the black one more too.
This one is cool. But you said a lot of people have this one already?
Well, no, I just was saying between the two colors, this is the newer color. Yeah, so this is just a speaker. You don't have to get them with this thing.
That's just a speaker?
Yeah. It is kind of a cool speaker though. You can take it off and stuff.
Yeah. My eyes still are gravitating to this. So
the wake, yeah.
Like, this is gorgeous.
Yeah. I don't love the fronts on the new 3-seaters though. No. Nah. I like this one next to it too.
Yeah, this one's cool.
This one's like mine, but a little
though.
slower. Yeah.
If I were to get one, I would want it to be slightly like have a feminine touch to it.
Yeah.
You know? Like this one definitely could be a guy's, but I feel like it also has like a feminine touch to it.
Yeah.
The turquoise, teal color. That one's cute on the end.
Yeah, that's probably a really good priced one too.
Yeah, that's only
5,800. Yeah, it's only a 2-seater though. But to be honest, most Sparks are really only 2-seaters. You can pretend you can put 3 people on them, but
See, I don't know.
to be honest, your best bet, get them when they're left over next year. It'll be real cheap. Like they're gonna just lift it. Oh, they're dragging it.
If you were to like pick one, babe, this one or the green?
Oh, I thought you
Which one
meant.
do you think
I
is
thought
the
you meant
best?
what one do I actually want? Because this is the one I want.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's beautiful.
Yeah. 300. Mine's a 260.
What is
so
this, like gold accents on it?
yeah,
That's really cool.
yeah. They actually make mine in the same color.
I like it. It
Yeah.
has like a unique touch to it.
Yeah,
With
I
gold.
think it's cool. And these, if you put this governor, like if you take the governor off of them, they go like 76 stock.
You know what this reminds me of? So you know how like you have the Joker, you've had the Batman. This
Mhm.
would be a good Wonder Woman
Yeah,
because it's got the
true,
goals.
true. Yeah, put a little
Gold.
blue on it.
Yeah.
Awesome. No problem. Appreciate it.
Look at people could sit on the back. Like 2 people could sit on the back of this.
Yeah, they actually advertise these. They have it do like squatting on the back of it.
God.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. First time though, should do something
Yeah.
like this.
And that'd be nice and affordable and stuff. What the heck is on it? Oh, wax. Wax bottle top. Someone's probably buying this. That's probably why it's here.
Damn.
Well, you could get another one.
Yeah.